So you're into photography and going to Alaska, or maybe you're just going to Alaska and looking for a couple extra places to go. Well, I just got back from Alaska, and let me tell you, it's a lot of fun. Hang around for a few minutes. I'll give you a few hot tips for your trip, and give you a couple other must-see spots. There's the airport. Can you see my plane? I'm leaving the hot, muggy summer of South Texas, hoping to cool off a bit in Alaska. Last winter, my youngest brother's work sent him and his family to the Anchorage area. So here's my opportunity to go see someplace I've always wanted to go. A few years back, my middle brother got me back into photography. I've been hitting it pretty hard, getting good at it, so I thought I'd take the opportunity to share a few things I learned while photographing in Alaska. Plus, I get to share some of my work. From Anchorage, we're going to head up to Wasilla. It's about 45 minutes or so. Palmer Valley, and it does not disappoint. Look at that view. In this part of Alaska, there are four-wheeler trails all along the roads. It's pretty much how you get around. Well, it's how you get around if you want to do it the fun way. Here we are pulling into my brother's place. I'm going to use it as home base for the next 10 days or so while I check out Alaska and get a place to crash.
Is yours going full blast?
I'm going to quickly introduce you to my brother. He's the one with the knit shorts and I'm the one with the knit beard. Our sister-in-law made him for us, kind of as a joke, but really the joke's on her because look, we found use for him.
What the heck?
The what?
I got something.
Well, day number 2, we're going to go do some fishing here. Alaska style fishing. My nephew here is using a technique called flossing. Well, that's what the locals call it. No, not that kind of flossing. Well, now you're kind of getting the hang of it. We're fishing for red salmon. They don't bite bait or lures, however they do swim upstream with their mouth open. At a split shot weight 3 or 4 feet up from the hook, the idea is salmon will swim by with the mouth open, the line gets caught in their mouth, and you pull the line and snag it. It took us some time, but as you can see, we eventually figured it out. You do get kind of dirty fishing this way, though. Well, it's day 3, so let's head on a little road trip and go over to Hatcher Pass. It's a favorite little local hotspot. It's a beautiful scenic drive with plenty of wildflowers, rivers, hiking, camping, and abandoned mines. In the winter, there's plenty of fresh, deep snow for skiing, and it's all just about 90 minutes from Anchorage. This is my first trip to Alaska, and I'll go under the assumption that this will be your first trip too. Later on, I'll fill you in what kind of camera I used, along with lenses and gear, and a couple of things what you should expect and what you might want to bring along as well. Well, we made it to Hatcher Pass. Here's Willow Creek and a bunch of fireweed. You're going to see fireweed all over the place. People use the petals to make jellies and jams out of. I hear it's really good. But you can't get over the scenery here. The place is just enormous. It's beautiful, and it's often cloudy, so be prepared for some clouds, but some sunshine might peek in too. As we're driving through the pass here, let me take a few seconds to talk about the weather. Often you'll see that the forecast calls for rain, maybe 50 or 60% chance of rain. What that really is more of a drizzle, that's what we found out. It's not really going to kill your day, and it's not going to kill your time there, and it's definitely not going to soak you out. So I would just maybe bring a light rain jacket and be happy with that. But you're definitely not going to ruin your day, and don't plan your days around weather. At least that's my experience, and talking to the natives, that's their experience too. Well, we finally made it to the top of Hatcher Pass, and it's definitely worth the time and effort to come over from Anchorage. It's only about 90 minutes, so lots of stuff to see, plenty of giant vistas, lots of hiking, camping. It's just a good time, and you won't regret coming over. Now, if you get lucky and you don't have any clouds in the area, take the time to go over to Willow, Alaska. From there, you can see Denali. It's about the closest I've seen Denali. Now, there might be other places you can see it from, but it's the place I was able to see it from. It's worth the drive. It will blow you away. Denali is over 20,000 feet high, so you're coming from sea level to see up to 20,000 feet. Definitely worth it. Yeah, Denali is fantastic, and I really hope you get a chance to go and see it, even if it is at a distance. So next we're heading to Seward, Alaska. I'm going to go take a boat cruise. It's about 170 miles or so, but plan on about 5 hours, 4 hours. It's going to take you a while because it's absolutely beautiful. You're going to want to stop, you're going to want to take pictures, you're just going to want to take your time and not be rushed. Now, one place you're going to want to stop is Whittier, Alaska. There's a tunnel you got to go through the mountain. It's a small detour you got to take. I didn't get to stop and do this trip. I wish I would have. I don't know why I didn't. Maybe I was tired. I don't have a clue why. Everybody told me to stop and I forgot to do it. Anyway, I'll do it next trip.
Good point. I'm after.
So the road you're going to take to Seward is the Seward Highway. It's just an incredible highway to drive. You can pretty much throw your camera up in the air, and wherever it lands, you're going to have an award-winning photo. The Kenai Peninsula at its finest. One day you're going to find it sunny, the next day you're going to find it cloudy. I had beautiful weather while I was there. 3 or 4 days of just sunny conditions and just absolutely perfect. Before you know it, you're going to be in Seward and you'll be like, where in the world did that 3, 4, 5 hours go? So this is Seward, Alaska, surrounded by mountains, fjords, glaciers, you know, typical harbor. It's an absolutely incredible little place. Well, I got here a little bit early, so I decided to take a walk and get a few pictures of the place. Here's the boat we'll be taking today, and here's the captain. This is the company I used for my tour. I took the 8.5-hour cruise. It was a lot of fun. They also offer different types of packages, different hours and stuff, something for your time frame and budget.
I'm going to be one of your deckhands today, and I just want to tell you guys real quick about the PFDs that we have on the boat. So first things first, it's very unlikely that we will have to use these. The captain has been doing this a very long time, close to 20 years to be exact. So we will be in good hands today, but in the unlikely chance that we do need to use them, the Coast Guard does require us to tell you guys about them.
So it took about an hour, maybe an hour and a half to get where we're going. You can see that it's 70 and sunny here when we left, but I brought my sweatshirt along and I sure am glad I did because it was cold out there when that boat's moving around 20 knots. So what do you do on a cruise like this? You're looking for wildlife and scenery, right? Well, we found a pod of orcas. They're out there a ways, well, probably about 100 yards or so. We ended up staying with them for about 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes. And they never really did get close to us. I was a little disappointed about that, but hey, you can't make them do what you want them to do, unfortunately. The captain did a really good job at keeping the boat in a position to where we could take pictures, videos. You can tell he's been at it a while and knows what the photographers and the video guys want to see. Let's head on over to the Aeolic Glacier. Now this thing is huge. I'm going to try to give you some idea of the scale we're talking about here. So it's 1.5 miles wide, 3.5 miles long, and from where you see the water to the top there, that's roughly 300 feet tall. Here I am trying to give you some idea of the scale we're talking about with the boats and the kayaks. That thing is just enormous. And yep, that's a boat down there at the very bottom. Hey, check this out. Some seals are out here. Say cheese, guys. So off in the distance, you could hear this loud crashing and booming going on. Well, that's the glacier cabin. Check this out.
Certainly been active today for sure. Been here for about a half an hour, so we're gonna kind of continue on. Oh yeah, looks like we got a whale. A humpback whale.
This was kind of fun to watch. Unfortunately, I didn't get any good video of him. I did get several stills. There he is, coming up from getting a bite to eat. Hey, I made a GIF. Next time I want to be in these guys' boat. And here we go, the stars of the day. Bunch of sea lions, just hanging out, having a good time. And here we have a youngster learning how to get in and out of the water while mom's nearby watching. They are a noisy bunch. Hey, puffins! Unfortunately, we weren't able to get really close to them, so I hadn't got a really good shot of them. But hey, something's better than nothing, right? Overall, a fantastic day. If you choose to do this trip, you will not be disappointed. Have fun, enjoy yourself, bring something warm to wear, and just have a great time. Well, day 4 in the books. We're going to head on over to Homer on the next day. It's about a 3-hour trip, so we're going to get a good night's rest and head out in the morning. There are other things to do in Seward. There's the Alaska Sea Life Center. They have puffins and other animals you can see. There's also the Kenai Fjords National Park. It's about a 7 or 8 mile drive from Seward, and you can see the glacier from there. If you're into kayaking, there's plenty of outfitters to help you out with your kayaking and tour needs. When you get back to town, there's plenty of little places you can find stuff to eat, get something to drink, and there's even a karaoke place if you're into that type of thing. Overall, Seward is a wonderful place. You're not going to be disappointed. It is expensive. You're going to need to bring a wallet full of money, and staying the night is expensive too, so make sure you got plenty of money in that wallet. Speaking of wallet, wait a minute. Where's mine? Ah! Well, I literally drove halfway to Homer from Seward, Sterling, Alaska. Pulled over, realized I didn't have my wallet. So I had to drive all the way back to Seward. I ended up putting my wallet on top of the car when I was getting gas and drove off. Luckily, a nice guy there in Seward, a resident, found my wallet, turned it into the police department, and I was able to get my wallet right back and head back to Homer. So, disaster averted. Okay, now we can go to Homer. So what do you do when you go to Homer, or on your way to Homer? Well, I think you go fishing. I think that's what you do in Homer. And from the looks of things, you catch fish in Homer. And I think you catch a lot of fish in Homer. I was able to walk around the harbor for a bit, take pictures. I was really hoping to see some otters and bald eagles, but I just didn't see anything like that. But that's not to say there's nothing to do in Homer. There's plenty of places to eat, get something to drink, and you just hang out and have a good time there in the Kachemak Bay area. So you're going to enjoy the trip back from Homer to Anchorage. Take your time, plenty of places to pull over, take pictures. You're really going to enjoy it. The speed limit's about 55 the entire way, with the exception of a few places. There's plenty of places to pull off so traffic doesn't get to be too big of a deal. And Alaskans really do drive really nice. Let's talk about the camera gear I used. I'm using a Canon 90D for my body. For lenses, I used a Tamron 24 to 70 2.8. That covered my landscaping, plus it's my walking around lens when I'm walking around a harbor or town or just out in the woods. For wildlife, I use a Tamron 150 to 600. That helps you get close enough to the animals if they're a little bit far out. So be sure to have a tripod or a monopod with you if you're using that big lens. That'll allow you a good shot at that animal or wildlife you're shooting at. I did bring a bunch of lenses that I didn't use. I brought a 16mm, a 24mm, and a 50. I also brought a 80 to 200L lens. Those just didn't leave my bag because they're just too short for wildlife, and I had one that covered landscaping pretty good. It's about time we wrap this up. I really appreciate you hanging around and watching my video. But before we go, I want to take you over to Archangel Valley. It's a beautiful area up near Hatcher Pass where we first started. I have a few of my shots here, plus a few of my sister-in-laws who went with us. She took a couple of nice landscapes, plus found a bear and some berries. I didn't get to see any bears or moose. Then the moose I did see were too far away or it was too dark to get a picture. But I did get a lot of birds, some Arctic ground squirrels, and a magpie eating his dinner. Overall, I loved my first trip to Alaska. I can't wait to get back there. The next time I'm going to spend some money and go over and see the bears at the state park. The pictures I've seen have been incredible. I cannot wait to go see that. Once again, thanks for watching my video, and if you liked it, hit the like button. That always helps out. Hey, and don't forget my motto when it comes to photography. High speed burst mode and pray, baby.